I want you to imagine something for a moment. Picture the version of you at the end of the hardest day you've had in a long time, completely out of energy, with nothing left to give. That version of you still has a choice to make. The difference between the people who make it through hard seasons and the people who don't isn't that one group has more left in the tank. It's that they know what to do when the tank is empty. I've narrowed it down to 10 things. 10 things you can do to show up when you've got nothing left. We're going to move through all 10, and by the end, you'll know exactly what to do the next time you feel completely empty. The first thing that gets you through a day when you have nothing left is showing up for 5 minutes instead of committing to the whole day. Because on your hardest days, the whole day is too much to promise yourself, but 5 minutes almost always feels possible. Effort on an empty day is like striking a single match. It's small, but it's enough light to see the very next step. Maybe today you commit to just 5 minutes of the task, nothing more. Tomorrow you show up for one phone call instead of the whole conversation you're dreading. The next day, you simply open the door, even if you don't walk all the way through it. I once knew a young man who had a project he cared about deeply, but some mornings he woke up with absolutely nothing left to give it. On those mornings, he stopped promising himself the whole day and instead promised himself just 5 minutes. Almost every time, 5 minutes quietly turned into an hour. On the mornings it didn't, he still kept his promise, and that was enough. What could you actually manage today if you only had to promise yourself 5 minutes? You don't need the whole day, you just need the next 5 minutes. It still counts. Next, on the days you have nothing left, you let your routine carry you, because your motivation isn't there to do it. Because motivation is unreliable by nature, but a routine doesn't care how you feel, it just keeps you moving forward. A routine is like a guardrail on a mountain road. You don't need to see the whole valley below. You just need something keeping you from going over the edge. Maybe today you follow the same 3 steps you always follow, even if your heart isn't in it. Tomorrow you let the routine move your body before your mind catches up. The next day you trust the guardrail instead of trusting how you feel. There was a woman I knew who built a simple, unremarkable morning routine long before things ever got hard for her. When a genuinely difficult season hit, she found she didn't have to decide anything. She simply followed the same steps she'd already built because deciding was more than she had energy for. The routine held her up on days she couldn't have held herself up alone. What's one small routine you could build now on an ordinary day, so it's there to hold you up on a hard one? On the days you have nothing left, the routine does the deciding for you. It still counts. Now, when you have nothing left, you do the smallest possible version of the thing instead of doing nothing at all. Because a small, imperfect version keeps the thing alive, and nothing at all lets it quietly die. Progress on an empty day is like laying a single brick in an unfinished wall. It's not the whole wall, but the wall is one brick closer than it was. Maybe today you write one paragraph instead of the whole chapter. Tomorrow you do one set instead of the full workout. The next day you send the rough draft instead of waiting for the perfect one. I once met a man working on something important to him who, on his hardest weeks, told himself the rule was simple. Do a version, any version, even the worst one. Some days that meant a single terrible sentence. He kept it anyway. Months later, looking back, he realized the worst days had still added something, and the project had never actually stopped moving forward. What's the smallest version of the thing you're avoiding that you could actually do today? A small version keeps something alive that nothing at all would let die. It still counts. Here's the thing. When you have nothing left, you ask for help instead of quietly trying to carry it all alone. Because pretending you don't need help doesn't make you stronger. It just makes you more alone while you struggle. Asking for help is like grabbing a rope thrown from the shore. Refusing it doesn't prove you can swim. It just means you're swimming for longer than you have to. Maybe today you tell one person, honestly, that you're struggling. Tomorrow you accept the help someone offers, instead of insisting you're fine. The next day you ask the question you've been too proud to ask. There was a man I knew who prided himself on never needing anyone. Right up until a season hit him so hard, he genuinely couldn't manage it alone. He finally said the words out loud, "I need help," to someone he trusted. That single sentence, one he'd avoided for months, was the thing that actually turned his situation around, not any effort he'd made on his own. What would happen if you finally said the thing you've been too proud to say? Reaching for the rope isn't weakness. Refusing it while you drown is. It still counts. Next, when you have nothing left, you protect your rest, because today's exhaustion becomes tomorrow's normal if you let it. Because you cannot keep giving from a place that never gets refilled. Running on empty is like a phone stuck at 1% battery. You can still technically use it, but everything shuts off the moment it's asked to do too much. Maybe today you go to bed instead of pushing through one more hour. Tomorrow you say no to something so you can actually recover. The next day you treat your rest as a requirement, not a reward you have to earn first. I knew a woman who kept pushing through exhaustion for months, convinced rest was something she'd earn once everything calmed down. Things never calmed down, and eventually her body simply stopped cooperating with her plans. When she finally rested on purpose instead of by force, she came back with more capacity in a week than she'd had in the entire exhausted month before it. What is running at 1% right now that you keep asking to do more anyway? You can't pour from what's already empty. Protecting your rest still counts. Now, when you have nothing left, you return to your reason, not your energy level, to decide whether to keep going. Because your energy will lie to you constantly, but your reason rarely does. Your why is like a compass. It doesn't care how tired you are. It just quietly points you back toward the direction that actually matters. Maybe today you write down again why you started this in the first place. Tomorrow you look at that reason before deciding to quit. The next day you let the reason move you, even though the feeling hasn't shown up yet. There was a man I knew who almost walked away from something important during an especially hard stretch, simply because he felt completely done. A friend asked him one question: has your reason for doing this actually changed, or just your energy? He realized his reason hadn't moved at all, only his energy had. He kept going, and the feeling eventually came back, but the reason was what got him through the gap. Has your reason actually changed, or is it just your energy talking right now? Feelings come and go, but your reason can carry you through the gap. It still counts. Here's something to think about. When you have nothing left, you lean on one small system instead of trying to will your way through. Because willpower runs out fast, but a system you've already built doesn't ask you to decide anything in the moment. A simple system on a hard day is like a single stepping stone across a river. You don't need to see the whole crossing. You just need the next stone to be there. Maybe today you use the one checklist you built for exactly this kind of day. Tomorrow you follow the same 3 steps you always fall back on. The next day you trust the system instead of trying to figure it out fresh. I once knew a woman who built a short list, just 3 steps, for what to do on the days she felt completely overwhelmed. She built it on an ordinary day, when she had the clarity to think it through. Months later, on a genuinely hard day, she didn't have to think at all. She just followed the 3 steps she'd already laid out for exactly this moment. What small system could you build today, on a clear day, so it's ready for you on a hard one? The system built in advance is the stone that's already there when you need it. It still counts. Next, when you have nothing left, you remember a time you already got through something even harder than this, because you have more evidence of your own strength than you're currently giving yourself credit for. A hard season you've already survived is like a scar. It doesn't hurt anymore, but it's proof of exactly what you're capable of getting through. Maybe today, you name one hard thing you already made it through. Tomorrow, you remind yourself how impossible that felt at the time. The next day, you let that memory speak louder than today's doubt. There was a man I knew who, during an especially difficult stretch, genuinely believed he wouldn't make it through. Someone close to him gently reminded him of another season, years earlier, that had felt exactly as impossible. and that he had, in fact, made it through that one too. He hadn't forgotten it, he just stopped counting it. Remembering it was enough to help him keep going. What have you already survived that you've quietly stopped giving yourself credit for? You are not starting from zero, you're carrying proof the whole time. It still counts. Now, when you have nothing left, you stay gentle with yourself while you keep moving, instead of adding self-criticism on top of exhaustion. Because harshness doesn't make you move faster, it just makes the moving hurt more. Self-criticism on an already hard day is like tightening a splint on a bone that's already broken. It doesn't help it heal, it just adds unnecessary pain to an injury that's already there. Maybe today you speak to yourself the way you'd speak to a friend in your exact situation. Tomorrow you let one thing be enough instead of demanding everything. The next day you forgive yourself for the version of today that didn't go how you'd hoped. I knew a woman who, on her hardest days, quietly punished herself for not doing more, as if the exhaustion itself were a personal failure. A friend finally asked her, "Would you talk to me the way you talk to yourself right now?" She admitted she never would. She started practicing the gentler version instead, and found she actually recovered faster once she stopped adding blame on top of the tiredness. Would you ever talk to someone you love the way you're currently talking to yourself? Gentleness doesn't slow you down. It's often what lets you keep going at all. It still counts. And 10th, maybe most important, you understand that showing up tired still counts, and maybe counts more than showing up when everything is easy. Because anyone can show up when they're rested and ready, but showing up empty is where your character actually gets built. Showing up with nothing left is like the last mile of a marathon. It's the slowest, hardest mile of the whole race, and it's also the one that actually finishes it. Maybe today you show up even though you have less to give than usual. Tomorrow you finish the smaller thing instead of nothing at all. The next day you let today count exactly as it was, tired and imperfect and real. There was a man I knew who, near the end of an incredibly difficult year, felt like he had nothing left to offer anyone, including himself. He kept showing up anyway, in small, tired, imperfect ways, convinced none of it was really counting toward anything. Looking back later, he realized those exact days, the hardest ones, were the ones that had actually built the person he'd become. What if the tired, imperfect version of today you're about to give is actually the one that counts most? The easy days build your comfort, but the hard days build you. It still counts, maybe more than any other day you'll have. So think about the 10 things we've talked about today. Showing up for 5 minutes instead of the whole day. Letting your routine carry you when motivation is gone. Doing the smallest version instead of nothing at all. Asking for help instead of carrying it alone. Protecting your rest. Returning to your reason instead of your energy. Leaning on one small system. Remembering what you've already survived. Staying gentle with yourself. And understanding that showing up tired still counts. What would today look like if you simply let yourself show up exactly as tired as you actually are, and let that be enough? Here's what I want you to remember. It still counts. So what's one small way, just one, that you'll show up today, even with nothing left to give? It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Because today, showing up at all is the whole win.